The aim of the team is to reduce the number of casualties we have in the borough. When we looked at the figures in 1994, which is the baseline we use for any targets that we have, the casualties we had were very high. There's a partnership between Capita Simons and Blackburn with Darwen Borough Council. We are now the 6th best performing authority in the country at reducing the number of child casualties that we actually have. All our lessons are linked to the national curriculum, etc., and they take them through from being with their parents, like holding hands, etc., all the way through to being independent travellers and then young drivers by the time they get to 17, 18. One of the things that we try and include is involvement from the children, really. It helps them remember the messages, but they're also given like real life situations, and they're taught songs to help them remember. They have to stop and look and listen and think. It's real for the children. They're actually going outside looking at traffic situations. They're looking at a safer environment around their school. One of the other functions of the casualty reduction team is to look at the casualty reduction programme. So it's traffic calming areas, perhaps using speed humps, perhaps using junction tables, interactive signage, making 20-mile-an-hour zones, making home zones. We also have to safety audit anything that we do on the highway, like for example Wainwright Bridge. So we're looking at it from all road users' points of view. So we start from the planning stage, and then obviously finally when it's completed we do a final safety audit on it as well. It's the casualty reduction team's objective to encourage all schools within the borough to have a school travel plan, and what we're trying to do is encourage them to walk or to cycle, to car share or to park and stride, etc., etc. And we're trying to set up things like walking buses, so parents are happy for the children to walk to school. The kids love it because obviously they get to talk to their friends. It is a way of encouraging parents to walk rather than use their cars. We do lots of things like parents groups, which helps us to get the messages across to parents, and it gives us the opportunity to talk to them about concerns they have. One of the projects we carry out is cycle training for the children in Blackburn with Darwen. It's national standard cycle training, a bit like the old cycling proficiency for children aged 10. Level 1 is basic skills on the playground in a safe environment, and level 2 is actually on-road training. The instructors have to attend a 5-day training course. We're very fortunate to be able to deliver cycle training across the borough, and we get funding from the Department for Transport to enable us to do that. Capita Simons have been delivering child pedestrian training since 2002. The aim of it really was to tackle child pedestrian casualties in disadvantaged areas, of which here in Blackburn there are half the wards are classed as disadvantaged. We had a very high child casualty rate. The practical pedestrian training offers an intensive 12-week course looking at finding a safe place, crossing between parked cars and crossing at junctions, and it has had a tremendous effect. The children are learning those skills, they're taking them home and also sharing those with their parents. Our mosque marshalling scheme was developed really to address a casualty peak that we had of children going to and from mosques at sort of like 5 o'clock in the evening, which is typical rush hour. We haven't had any child casualties of that particular demographic since we started. One of the main concerns we have is the number of young driver casualties that are occurring, particularly between the 16 to 19-year-olds and also with car passengers who can be as young as 13, 14. So what we've tried to do is think of ways we can address those casualties. Missing Matthew is a real-life story about a young man who was killed speeding with his best mate on the roads in Blackburn. Wasted Lives looks at a way to deliver an interactive programme, and the third one is actually practical pre-driver.
CBT Plus training is tackling the issue of young riders. We took some hard-to-reach young people and introduced them to CBT Plus, which meant that they got the training and the practical skills they needed, and then also got their CBT certificate as well.
I hope from the things you've seen on the DVD it gives you an insight into some of the services that we provide. If anybody would like more information on those services or would like us to come in and deliver any of the services, then please do contact us.